an interview. Would you please read it? When can you do the three-way call? And I say, when do you want it? And basically that's it. Now, if there's a scheduler of some sort that will make that happen, I'm in. But I'll tell you, the bigger your organization, right now my organization's pretty big, and I'm still not buried in three-way calls because I control my day timer. I will tell you point blank if I can get on there. Now, Daniel this morning set a three-way call at a restaurant on top of something I couldn't get to, and you cannot believe how much that bothered me not being able to get over and meet this guy at Red Frog Coffee and seeing it. But I didn't have an interview in my hand, Daniel, just for coaching for a site, not at me that you love me, because I'm going to bring your name up here. So is that a picture of you, Daniel, or is that you person? Okay, you moved. Thank you very much. Here's the deal. I didn't have an interview. So I wasn't really talking to a human being, so it didn't humanize it for me. I didn't have an interview to look at to say, okay, now in fact, I don't want to make sure I'm not a hypocrite here. I do or I don't have it. I don't know. Maybe I do have it, but I don't think I do. But the fact is that's what I want, and that's how I do it. And I do more three-way calls, I would think, than anybody in longevity. I would think that's the truth, because I do them all day long for people. I do them inside and out. They aren't even in my organization. I just do them because I think it's the most efficient use of my time. Does that make sense to anybody? Everybody? How about this guy? It's the middle of the winter and the guy's mowing the lawn right outside my window. I'm so sorry about that. So if you're hearing that, I'm sorry. Okay, so I want to go back to where I was though. So you did the interview, and then you did it every day. And you didn't do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then post, here's the interview 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the last 3 days. It's a muscle that you are developing, and the muscle has to be developed. So every day you're going out there and interviewing 2 people. I can pick up my phone right now, and if you want me to, I'll interview somebody on the phone. I can do it. I can just pick up the phone. And the second they get on the phone, I'm going to take over the conversation and I'm going to interview them. I'm going to find out their blood type. I'm going to find out their money. I'm going to find out their time. I'm going to find out their health. I'm going to find out their history. I'm going to figure out what they want their future to be. And it's not going to feel creepy at all. I'm going to flat out ask a stranger exactly what's going on with their life. It's that simple. Why? Because I give myself permission to. Why? Because I do it with power and with empathy, and they know that I care about the answers, and I'm doing it because I want to learn about them, so hopefully I can help them with their life. And you're saying, well, I can't do that. I live in a trailer park. That is not true. That is not true. You have got to give up the story that it's about you. Nobody is thinking about you. They are thinking about their favorite subject, which is them. And trust me on this, I am a doctor. I promise you, if you will just believe me and try it and try interviewing with that kind of velocity, you are going to have it made in the shade. So you're interviewing 2, and after you interview it, I want you to document it in your phone. We just announced the alpha on the contact mapping app with Adrian. So now the microphone, when you do this, it's going to be easier because the app is going to do the work for you. But just this morning, look at this deer in the headlights guy. Here's my phone. Here's the last picture I took. There I am in Red Frog Coffee. And here's this guy freaking out with his eyeballs like saucers because I just looked right at him and said, do you mind if I take your picture? Then he's looking at me like I'm Ted Bundy, but I took his picture, and I know all about this guy. I know everything. This guy right here made a 15-minute movie called The Secretary on YouTube. It's been viewed 9.9 million times. 9.9 million times. His office is at 17th and Pace. He is fascinated about the movie business. He is obsessed about cameras. He is a web designer and an SEO expert, and he has no friends. So he goes to Red Frog to work on his websites and all that jazz because he wants to be around people. Nobody's ever bothered to take his temperature. And now this guy goes, man, your office is right on the way to Red Frog. Would you mind if I stopped in, looked at your cameras in your studio there, and maybe we can figure out a way to do some business? So this guy is begging to walk in to the Mousetrap. Why? Because it was nothing about longevity. It was nothing about Tom Chenault. It was just, I'm interested. I showed Dominic and Denise the movie that he made right after we left there, and I am interested in this guy. And because I was interested in him, he wants to be interested in us. John Clark has been to Longmont. Daniel Rhymes has been to Longmont. Marianne Niehaus has been to Longmont. Actually, she lives in Longmont. All the Rock Rice has been to Longmont. You've gone down there and you've been through this. No one can tell me there aren't people to talk to. You are surrounded by people to talk to. You're just too busy talking at. You have to talk to, not at. Does that make sense? One of the greatest interviewers of all time is Denise Chenault. And as a tag team, we are unbelievable. Denise, would you mind talking about that just a little bit so these people realize they don't have to be a crazed Mooney like me to do this?
What, you? A crazed Mooney? No. No, one of the great things, I mean, if you're able to, if you have a friend or a spouse that you hang out with a lot, like I happen to with, you know who, you know, we are a great team, but it's oftentimes easier to talk about somebody else than it is yourself. And so Tom is really great about, especially if it's a woman, you know, if we're at a restaurant and it's a waitress and he's, you know, after we chat for a little bit, he'll off I've got my wife, Denise. She is, you know, one of the best coaches out there. She's a motivational and inspirational speaker. And, you know, he'll go on and on about me, things that I would never say about me, right? But we can often talk about other people so much easier. And so if you have that kind of spouse where, you know, they can send direct people to you, it works out so well for us. And, you know, and Tom doesn't have a problem talking about himself at all, but you know, there's credibility when you're a couple and you're able to kind of like do that back and forth a little bit.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome, Thomas.
So she makes coffee at 6 in the morning and she makes a full pot of it. And then I drink ice cold, mucky coffee all day long and I love it. So that's what I just went to
warm it up.
Okay, so here's the deal. Do you guys want me to do a follow-up? Does that help you? I can't see your faces.
Sure. Hey.
Okay. So 7 touches. What I keep telling you is 7 touches. So this is the obnoxious guy.
8 was the stat, but go ahead. Sorry.
Whatever the stat is. So this is the guy that was in the restaurant that talked really loud. He was the waiter who gave us all way too much information.
Yes.
I remember that guy.
Oh, about his son. It was a little awkward, actually.
It was very awkward. But he logged in our brain because it was so awkward. And you could tell this guy's a talker and he could really be good at this business because he just wants to tell you his life story. It was unbelievable. So by the time we finally went around the Robin House about 3 times with a guy, this is like the 4th time we've talked to him now. We invited him to the radio station last week, but the dog ate his homework again. And he said, I can't come because my roommate was doing something. He didn't come to the show. So his name is Michael. And so then he said something about an injury. So we've got 2 points of touchback, 2 points of follow-up with this guy. And I want him in the business. By the way, this is not a game show here. This is a guy that we're putting in this business. You might as well put a fork in this guy. He is done. So it is not like, this is not showing off for you guys. His card's on my desk because I want to bring this guy in the business because I think he could do something with it. So we're calling him right now. I've got all kinds of points of follow-up with him. 97057. Okay, I'm dialing his number in my phone. which is a very bad sign right there. Oh.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing, Michael? It's Tom Chenault from the radio station.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good today. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Last time I talked to you, you were coming off of the injury and almost going back to work. And Denise and I are thinking about going over there to eat. Are you there now?
No, I'm actually not. I'll be talking to Chef tomorrow. So I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to be able to go back there. That's obviously my decision. I don't know if I talked to you on Saturday, or when we talked. So I didn't have the surgery on Tuesday, so I couldn't afford it. So I'm feeling okay and everything. Like I said, I didn't have the cash to get it done. My insurance didn't pay for it. So.
Right. You said something about $3,000. How old? You're all, are you 40? Is that how old you said you are?
I'm 52, actually. I just look a little bit younger than I am.
You look great, man. If I look like you, I'd be rich. So,
It's been on my mind. Like I said, when you asked me for the general manager's name or whatever, I gave that to you. I wanted to come by on Saturday, but my roommate had a doctor's appointment on Saturday, and she needs me to pick her up at a certain time, and that was pretty much the time I needed to be there. I tried to finagle things that morning, but I just wanted to be, I'm the type of person that if I can't make it, I want to be responsible and let you know.
No,
I was just coming out to see the radio station and stuff. So I do have time now, and like I said, I just wanted to, I just thought I'd call you on Tuesday, give me a call, and let's set up something and meet up at the station or when you would like.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be there all day. I'm there all the time. Either myself or my son. You met my son Adrian, and you've got the address. But
yes, I do. I got the address. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm just trying to work through the things there. Like I said, with the workman comp thing. I mean, I don't know where they're at with that. They haven't called to me, and I've done my due diligence, and just going to go in and just see how they're going to be able to help me with that. I mean, obviously, I want to get that done, but I also want to pursue what I want, if you know what I'm saying. That was kind of my focus, to get this done as soon as possible.
And you're 52 years old, and it's a crime that you're even worried about finding $3,000 for a surgery that you desperately need.
I would have to totally agree with you that I would. Like I said, I hold myself accountable on many things, and I could have done better in many areas. I used to have better insurance than I have now.
Yeah, that's not a put. No, that's not a put down. That's just that was empathetic, or sympathetic.
No, I felt it that way. No. Like I said, you and I seem to be on the same wavelength. And that definitely makes me happy. That's why I came over the other day and said something to you I think that was one of my last shifts that I worked over there. And like I said, I hate that it's up in the air. I've done my due diligence, and I was hoping that they would give me a call or kind of show some kind of concern towards me, but it doesn't look like they are. So obviously, I'm gonna have to go in and listen to what they think, and obviously, I really don't know what's going to come from their side, to be honest with you. I'm not too concerned about it, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to obviously give them an opportunity to, cover their butts. Because basically, they didn't have workman comp when this happened. And by them not having workman comp, they need to pay for my surgery and pretty much me not being at work the last couple of weeks,
Yeah, and who knows if they even have the money now. All right, I'm going to go over there for dinner. I'm going to be around on the next few days. I'd love to just talk to, I'm old. I'm a lot older. I'm 14 years older than you. So there is, and I've seen a lot of road in those 14 years.
Yes, sir.
14 years, in the last 14 years, I moved here in 2003.
I moved here in 2003 and left for a year and a half for Vegas, came back. I've been here since June of 2003. So I came here to find my pot of gold, my rainbow, and I would just say that I've been working towards it, and I feel like it's grasped, it's right there, and I feel like you're part of one of those colors in that rainbow for me. I've already got a couple of colors in there, one being mine. So,
all right,
you seem to think I have the potential and the ability possibly to do what I would like to do, and you have the means to help me do that. And all I can do is tell you that when we sit down and talk, you can ask me anything you want, and I'll be very upfront with you. I'm the type of person that I try to be a man of my word, if you know what I'm saying. That means a lot to me, to have respect from somebody and obviously earn that respect and stuff. So I feel like you've already started earning my respect so much just by following up and just your concern and just your knowledge, your wisdom, I guess. Knowledge turns into wisdom.
Do you remember me telling you I've got a small airplane?
Yes, you did.
We can fly up and visit your mother in Hamilton, Montana.
Yes, I would love to do that.
All right, man. I love you. I will talk to you in the next couple of days. I got big plans for you, my friend. So I keep making all these. But wait a second, Michael. I keep generating all these calls. And I'm the guy that I'm the pot of gold. You got to chase me a little harder.
I will start chasing you right now.
All right, man. I love you. Good night.
Love you. Good night.
Bye-bye. What? What?
He loves you.
What?
So cute.
Oh, my gosh. But that's just love. I didn't even write his name in my phone. I'm going to show you, because I was just embarrassed a minute ago because I put his phone number in there and there was no notes. So now this is like when I was in there with Adrian. So now I'm in my rudimentary contact mapping thing, because I am one of the few people who don't have the Alpha app downloaded. So I'm putting in the word Hamilton. Hamilton. I got to spell Hamilton. Hamilton and mother. So those two things we know. That didn't pop him up. Hamilton said, that's what's about him. Yeah, there we go.
Put the restaurant in.
I hit mom. So here it is. Here's his map. So I'm in the restaurant. I could tell I loved him. So I wrote. This is crazy. So I wrote.
52 years old, born in South Carolina. Move it back a little. Moved to New Orleans, moved to Houston, has a 34-year-old son, works for Sprint for the last 15 years. He's an auditor, travels all over the place. His mother lives, pull it back, in Hamilton, Montana. She's 72. They call her Big Tex, I think.
Yeah, it says call her Big Tex. I have no idea. And forgiveness is biggest for him. But so these are all touch points. Those are my 7 touch points on this.
So I think his son lives in Florida, doesn't he?
No, and the son works for Sprint, and that's the one they doesn't get along with. But look at all the different follow-up places I had there to develop this relationship and keep going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Now, did that feel like a creepy follow-up on multi-level marketing to you? No. Now I'm going to get him in the mousetrap at the office. I'll have Adrian there and some normal people there to talk to him. Marianne will be there. James will be there. And then we'll have some homeless people to make him feel right at home. It'll be awesome. So that's what we do, though. I mean, every one of you.
But you know what? Here's the thing that stood out, though, too. When you listen to him, he was very touched that you remembered to call him back and that you cared, and to the point where he's saying, look, you're on my short list of where I want to go and people who can help me to get there. And I absolutely remember you. And he was honored that you remembered him and follow it up. That's the thing, is I think that we get so scared about following up, and really people want to be remembered, and that's what you're doing when you're following up.
That's all we want. Does that make sense? So here's the deal. What you love most about me is what I remember about you. That's on contactmapping.com's website. Barbara Lucart's on here. You guys have no idea who she is. She is a founder of Youngevity. She was a school teacher. Her husband, Frank, was an enrolled agent for the just one of the highest levels of accountants you can possibly be. I'll never forget. She just, when I first got into Youngevity, it wasn't called Youngevity then, it was called American Longevity. She was this beautiful school teacher who loved the heck out of people. She had this guy named Tank in her organization. She's just adorable. But at the end of the day, she got a Lexus, a brand new Lexus. And it was the first brand new Lexus in all of Youngevity history. And she was the one that got it. And she was so proud of that, and she probably still has that car. She and her husband, Frank, travel the world with Dr. Wallach's message on it, and that's Barbara Lukart, and she's on here right now. She's just a pioneer in Youngevity, somebody that is unbelievable. But that's what we're talking about. Remember people. Remember their lives. Love them like crazy, then love them more. So there's a couple of things that happen with this guy that are important. Number one, you have seen the hypocrisy of Tom Chenault, because I actually took a picture of that waiter. It's somewhere in my database. I now have his information, and I've never bothered to put it in. Why, I don't know. And the third thing is, so that's 2 strikes on me. But where I've really been good is I've been able to follow him up 3 different times, now 4. And by the time I get to 7 or 8 with that guy, he'll be in the business with us. You guys, if anybody's got any doubt about that, I want you. What I just said was not a lie. You can put a fork in that guy, he is done. But every one of you, I don't care if you're bringing them into to memory keeping. I don't care if you're bringing them into the 90 for life. I don't care if you're bringing them into Jordan Rubin's company. I don't care if you're bringing them into some sort of estate planning. I don't care if you're bringing them into something off of Brad Feld. I'm just looking at pictures of all of you people and speaking to something of your life. I don't care, because what you're basically saying to people is, I'm going to put you in the palm of my hand. I am going to believe in you. I am going to partner with you, and I am going to go through this with you. Not for you. I'm going to go through this with you. And that's each and every one of you. Will it take 2 more weeks or more? No, Verna. Why can't? No, where's Verna? Are you asking if it's going to, how long does it take somebody to fall in love with you? Probably 2 touches, depending on where they are. I'm just telling you that if you throw up on them in the first meeting, and Verna, turn on your camera and let's talk about that comment, because it's really, yeah.
Tom, I don't have a camera. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So how are you, Verna?
Fantastic.
Where do you live?
Florida. You were just here visiting in Miami.
Verna, I was talking for them, not for you. I know exactly who you are, Verna. I can see you like you're sitting in front of me. You texted me your picture. I've got you, Verna. I'm trying to do this for everybody. So what you're concerned about, how long have you been in Youngevity?
6 years.
6 years. Okay. In the span of 6 years, how many giant business builders have you brought into your organization?
I don't.
0.
Well, when you say giant, yeah. When you say giant, what do you mean? Somebody that's very influential? What?
Anybody that's really grabbed hold of this thing and done well? How many? 0?
Maybe 1.
Okay, maybe 1 in 6 years.
Yeah.
And what that little guy on your shoulder was just telling you, that was 2 weeks, it's going to take 2 weeks. That's a really long time. And I am telling you, in the span of 6 years or 2 weeks, even if it did take all of 2 weeks, it is not a long time. But if you would have all those people, and I know you, I can see you as clearly as day. If you had, and I'm going to pop your picture up as soon as I take a breath here and wind you up and get you talking. If you had taken the time to truly interview these people like I just did that guy, where you know where their money is, where you know where their time is, where you know their health, and you start sensing that somebody's looking to go find that pot of gold and build a life, and you get so embedded in that person's life that they know that if they jump in the foxhole with you, they've got a chance for the first time of their life of finally getting that pot of gold they've been searching for 52 years. You're not going to be telling me that it's taken you 6 years to find one leader. It may take you 2 weeks. It may take you a month, but this is all about developing those deep relationships, having people know that you're going somewhere and that they need to go with you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's why.
Yes.
What? Okay, good. So so tell me what you're thinking.
Just have the conversation.
Okay, so what was...
And now that I'm thinking about that, I do have a young... Thank you, Tom.
In my phone, the picture you texted to me the last time I saw you on 3/18 of 2018, Read 'em and Weep down in Florida, 1-star, rock star, beautiful woman. I love her. Boom. Boom. I rest my case. Show me your contact map on me. Tom Chenault. Phone number. Maybe.
Yeah, I just have your phone number, Tom.
I am telling you, I am begging you, you guys. This is so funny. I am begging you to try it my way. I'm not telling you that. I'm not your boss. I'm your partner. I just told you about Kevin Martin. I'd read you his data, but I have his password for his account in my phone. So I can't hold you the notes up on him because where you're going to see K-Man and then the numbers. So I can't show you that. I was going to show you his kids. But the fact of the matter is, but I'm always improving this. I'm going to prove it to you right now. I give a darn. So these... I'm scrolling through my emails right now because I don't know how to screen share. That's for all the smart people. Give me one more second. So, one person I want to love more. I want to love this person, and I know what she loves more than anything in her life. And I didn't have access to that until today. She's been my buddy for a very long time. You're looking at this email. Oh my gosh, I did that. Please don't tell me I did that. Okay. So if you look at this email, you can see the time was 11:03 this morning. And you can also see what she wrote. Iggy Barron, Chris DeSanto, Lena Coleman. Iggy Barron IV, Sophia DeSanto, Gianna DeSanto, Cashton Kleeman. Here's the names because I know that Victoria Barron will do anything for those kids and those grandkids. So I had to have that information that I've got with me every minute of every day. So when I call Victoria Barron to inspire her and remind her what she's up to, just exactly like me, I wanted her kids and grandkids' name. Because asking about the grandkids was not getting me where I wanted to go. I needed to go deeper with that. So I said, what are the names and the ages of the grandkids? I did that with Pamela Schwartz. She's got a kid named Gunnar, Gunnar, coolest name in the world. I did that with Pamela because I wanted to get deep with and hardcore with Pamela about what she's willing to do to be successful, to break through where she was in longevity to get to where she wants to go. Does that make sense to you guys? It's beautiful. It works. You got, especially your leaders. Facebook page. I don't know what that meant, Linda Tyler. Let him talk. Okay, good. Anybody else got a question that you want to ask me? Anything that I can? So this has been the longest 5 minutes of an entire life. Okay, so you now have interviewed the two people. Now you document it in your phone. So everywhere you go, you've got that interview with you. You've got those follow-up steps with you. And as the app gets farther down the road, you're going to be getting these reminders to touches. And what we're trying to do is create 7 touches. But you guys are stopping at 0. You've got to continue into that thing so you've got things to follow up on. If I call that guy back right now, and I'll do it if you want me to, I'll call him back on the phone right now and say, Michael, I forgot to ask you, what was the injury? And I wind him up one more time, and all he's going to talk about is what was going to cost $3,000. It's a hernia or something. He's going to tell us the story of that. And I'm not going to say, oh, my God, you got to listen to Dead Doctors Don't Lie. But you can be sure when he tells me that and he comes walking in the studio and he's got on his mind that he wants to be a talk show host and he's looking for his pot of gold, that we're also going to have some information sitting right there about what's going on with his hernia, so James Earl Moore can take him out of that pain and get him on a path of nutrition where he looks up and says, holy mackerel, I might not have to spend that $3,000 after all, because we gave a darn. We did the research. I was thinking about you. I looked at what we could do nutritionally for that hernia of yours, and here's what we've got. Meet James Earl Moore. Boom. Make sense? That's the greatest thing in the world. How and where? And the second thing, you're writing it all down, so you don't have to be smart. I don't know anything about the products. You guys know that. I don't even know the comp plan. You don't know that, but I don't. I mean, I do not try to fill my brain with anything that can be found on the internet. I try to fill my brain with love. I want to fill my brain with nothing and fill my heart with everything. That's exactly what I want to do. Cool enough? Yes. Okay. Who's got questions? Adrian, why don't you unmute? I know that you want to take control of this. I'm driving you crazy. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. Congratulations on getting the app launched. We are at beta, alpha, beta, American Pie. Where are we?
Oh my goodness. So we are at alpha, which is intentionally for about 25 people to start off with, so that we can make sure that any of the early things that come up as a result of letting a few people use, we can get fixed quickly before we have 500 people or 1,000 people in there and everybody's yelling at us in that. So that's where we are right now. We are very blessed and lucky to have our 65 days and a wake up graduates as our main alpha testers. And so this is really, really exciting. And Pamela, thank you. I'm sorry we had a little bit of a hiccup that we're going to work out here this afternoon, but you are awesome. And we're just so fired up. And so it's here. I literally just was late to this call because I did a coffee shop interview with a guy who I met at GoPro back in November, and I played back to him something light that he had mentioned to me in that conversation, because I contact mapped him back then, and what was supposed to be about a 15-minute quick chat turned into a 45-minute conversation where he was asking me to try our product at the end of the conversation, because and that was totally off the back of his own enrollment in what we were doing and just excitement in hearing what we were up to. So it's just this thing, once it's dialed in, it's already, it just changes everything for you. And I just finished typing out a couple of things that I wanted to make sure I remembered about this conversation today before I forget, because I knew that as soon as I really shift gears, that so much of that little stuff that somebody tells you is gone. And so that's the whole thing. But the app is out. I am so excited. So we're going to do 2 weeks in alpha is the game plan, and then we go to beta, and beta is wide open for all of you. And so if you guys have not already done it, I'll put the invite out here in a couple weeks as well, but make sure you go over to contactmapping.com and put your email address in there, because that's where we're going to use to be sending out the invitations to join the beta. It's an invite only sort of a thing, and we want all of you to be a part of it. So that's where we are.
And Doug Coe, again, going back to the three-way calling, Robert Estes is on here too. He said, he called me earlier, says, hey, I got a three-way at 2 o'clock. I say, great. Then all of a sudden he called back and said, that thing just disappeared, but you've got the interview. I'll try to put it back together. I mean, this happens to me all day long. And if you're wondering if I've got time to help you, everybody on this page, I've got time to help you. Do I want to? Maybe not. You know that? I mean, I don't think you what the heck's going on here, man? I seem to have hit some sort of goofiness. You know, I mean, because obviously it's an amazing amount of time. And so I don't want to lie to you and tell you that I have no life and that's all I want to do is three-way calls. But at this stage of the game, for each and every one of you, no matter whose organization in, even if you're, am I okay now on my camera angle? Is that okay? Okay, so, and what you guys need to know is I don't look at myself. I do everything I can not to be in the camera. So if there is a problem ever with the camera, I have it on that panel because I just can't stand looking at myself. It makes me crazy. I'd rather look at all you guys, because what you guys do is you forget that you have your camera on and I can catch you goofing around, and then I just go, hey, Todd Plexico, pay attention. So things like that. So it's awesome. So back to it. I am available and I am in this game to win it. And if I can't teach you guys, my loyal crew of 65 and a wake up people that are forging through this, I can't teach the rest of the company. And I don't have, and I'm telling you, on a call, was that on the 3-star call yesterday? Yeah, we've got a call called 3-star and above. Jennifer Saltzman was on there and a few other people that are on this call. And I made a comment about some people that are watching 65 and a wake up and acting like it's not the foundation of longevity. And you should have heard people jump to the defense of 65 and a wake up. It would have made all of you guys cry. And that's true, right, Jennifer? I'm watching you nod. Because it was magic. And the people that were defending it, I didn't even know they knew about it. And that really, really warmed my heart. But we need to have a group. I go to AA every day. I am involved in this Rev 90 because I'm on a health kick of a huge magnitude. So I go in there and I look for inspiration there. But I'm just gonna, in fact, Denise, can you pop up?
I'm here.
How much gluten, sugar, or grain have I eaten in the last 2 weeks?
You and me both.
Yeah, unfortunately you.
No, you've had Zippo.
0. Because I made a decision. And I made it like it was a life and death decision. Just like when I got sober, just when I decided to take on multi-level marketing, I look at gluten, grain, sugar, right this minute in my life like it's a skull and crossbones. Is that crazy enough? And because I look at it like that, my first thought is not to cheat. My first thought is not that little guy saying one bite is okay. Somebody sent us some beautiful strawberries with chocolate on them, and I said, and Denise handed me one. I said, I can't take it because of the chocolate, because it's that serious for me right now. Now, it wouldn't have hurt anything to eat that piece of that strawberry with that chocolate on there, but it also wouldn't hurt me to have a sip of wine.
Well, and I remember Mary Lou Hitter
naked dancing on the table, not on the strawberry. Go ahead.
I remember Mary Lou Hitter saying, "Nothing tastes as good as healthy feels," and I try and remember that, and then I also try and remember what you eat today, you'll crave tomorrow. And for me, that's really true, because food's not really, food's not really my thing. So it's not, luckily so anyway, but I can easily have, a glass of wine or chocolate covered strawberries or something. But if you remember, that it's not just today, that it goes on, and if you have it today, then you'll want it tomorrow, and then it's sort of this house of cards. So
yeah. So anyway, it's kind of like that has to become like that for the 65 and a wake up, you guys. It's got to be like that with the 2 interviews a day and 1 3-way call. And I just So somebody, there isn't a 90, that was a joke by Linda Tyler, where Dr. Wallach said that after the 90 nutrients, red wine's number 91 because he loves a glass of wine. And he also says that Haagen-Dazs is number 92. So don't get carried away with that one. Dr. Wallach's been known to have a scoop of ice cream and a glass of wine literally every night. And that's what he does. And that's okay. So going back to where we are here, we talked about the coffee shop interview. We talked about the documentation. We talked about the follow-up. We talked about the three-way call. Once you've done the three-way call, when I do three-way calls, if you guys will just do them with me, you'll find out that I don't speak like, are you going to buy? I speak like you did buy. I speak like you are already in Youngevity, welcome aboard, and that Doug Coe is the greatest upline in the world. And guess what? You get to work with Doug Coe. You get to work with Adrian Chenault. You get to work with me. You get to work with Cheryl Morley. And you get to work with Denise. You couldn't have a better partnership on the face of the earth. You are so lucky to be on this three-way call with Doug Coe. That's what I say. I say that about James Moore. I say that about Pamela Schwartz. I say that about Daniel Rhymes. I say that about anybody taking this business seriously. Because your job, when you introduce the three-way call, is to introduce me so powerfully that they think they are talking to a rock star. And then you introduce me to them like they are the best person for your business they ever had in their life. And then it's my job to come back and make sure I edify you throughout the conversation so they know it is the perfect storm. So that's that. Does that make sense to you? And then you have got to go teach your people. And the mark of a leader is how many people you've got on here on this call tonight. How many people did you bring? How many people do you bring to the Hair on Fire call every morning? It is all a game of duplication. And I promise you, if you guys can get this down pat, you're going to have my life. You can't do it all by yourself, no matter how good you think you are. You've got to create that excitement so they come to this call, so they come and they follow you, and then together we go someplace. And I don't care what vertical in Youngevity it is. It doesn't matter. How much should you know about that's none, Doug. I think that is predicated, now that I'm rethinking my words, that's pretty much predicated with who you're on the phone with. But what I love doing in the form of a business builder, the minute that I send especially with business builders, the minute I send the Youngevity.com website, the minute I send a Dead Doctors Don't Lie CD, the minute I send anything to a business builder, before I have them on the three-way call, I have given those people a chance to do their cursory, stupid, dumb due diligence and figure out a way to say no. So I try to minimize that I do this for whoever asked this question. I do this type of Zoom for sure every Tuesday, but I do them all the time. I get on and I got a new idea called Tales with Tom. Thank you, Daniel Rhymes. That's going to be kind of fun. But here's what I want to go to with the timing on the three-way call. Hey, James Davis, I've been thinking about you. You worked at GoPro forever. You are a heck of a guy. I know you've got the best relationships on the planet. I want you to sit down and talk to my upline, Tom Chenault. That's what I want you to do. What are we talking about? We're talking about the fact that you don't want to be worried about the future, the financial future of your 7-year-old son. You told me he's the most important thing on the planet to you. You told me you didn't want to be traveling around the world. You told me you wanted a stable income where you didn't have to leave for an office every day. I was talking to Tom Chenault about you, and the guy wants to talk to you, and we might be able to solve your problem. Hello, Tom. James, this is Tom. Tom's, this is James. You need to talk to Tom, wants to talk to you. I immediately speak straight into the coffee shop interview with James. I speak about his son because Doug told me. I speak about Wichita because Doug told me. I speak about James's skill sets because Doug told me. I speak about James's health because Doug told me. I speak to it without telling him I know all this stuff. And by the time the conversation is over, James knows that this is the company he's been waiting for all his life. Then Doug says, here's the website. I'm going to send you the website right over. I want you to take a look at this. Tom, like Tom said, welcome aboard. There's a join button at the top. And when James goes to that website for the first time in his life, it's not going to look like getting sent to a website like every other network marketer